This is Sexy Funny Raw, where we talk all about the world of sex, from dating and relationships to the adult industry itself, answering all the questions you weren't even brave enough to ask Google. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sexy Funny Raw. I am your host, Sylvia Sage, and joined in studio with me once again is fellow comedian and TikTok influencer, Durena. Say hello to the people.
How's it going, guys? You guys doing good?
They're doing so good.
They're doing so good.
They
They're
love
excited.
being here.
Yeah. They're excited for this pod. We're gonna rip it.
We really are.
Yeah.
Because today we're talking about the wildest sexual experiences.
Yes. This is the juice.
I feel like I've had a lot of experiences, but after meeting you, I feel like you might be like neck and neck with me on some things.
No,
here.
I think I've done well for who I am. I'm not. I don't think I can go up with the greats. You know.
Question. So
Yes.
you've only recently come into fame, like the past few years, maybe 5, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that changed your sexual experiences, or do you feel like you were always kind of wilding out during sex?
I was always wilding out during sex. I was always horny and down to do like wild things. Like some of my most explorative things were before getting famous.
Yeah.
Because I had more free time.
Fair.
Yeah. But definitely the quantity of sex I'm having and quantity of partners has increased quite a bit. Yes.
Yeah. And with that has also increased your STI rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say it's about a 50-50 split. I'd say about 50% of the STIs I've gotten were like pre-fame and 50 were after fame.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm running on like 6 cases of chlamydia that I've caught total.
Yeah, just chlamydia.
Just
I'm
chlamydia.
Like shocked by that.
Never nothing else,
Yeah.
dude. No, I've never, like every time I've gotten tested, I've always kind of known that I've had chlamydia.
Do you get the burn?
I don't get a burn.
Oh.
I get like an itching in my urethra. I always described it as like a caterpillar in my urethra.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just feels like a little uncomfortable little guy in there.
Yeah, some people might like that. I don't know.
I mean, it feels nice to scratch. Like,
It's the chlamydia caterpillar.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of roll my dick like you're rolling a joint or something.
Ah,
and then it just like
interesting.
that feels good. And then you get like a
Yeah.
little discharge or something. Yeah.
And you're like, time to go.
Time to go.
Get
Time
the
to go
pills.
get checked. One time I went in and I was like, I got tested or like peed in the cup and took the blood.
Yeah.
And then the lady came in with a needle and was like, I'm going to give you a shot for gonorrhea. And I was like, I don't think it's gonorrhea. And she's like, well, we're just going to give this shot anyways.
They do that sometimes.
And I was like, I just went, nah, I know it's chlamydia. Like,
Yeah.
I just was like, I didn't want to.
I've been here before.
Yeah, I wanted to be like, listen, lady, like, this is my first rodeo.
But I will say doctors, even in my industry, will do the same thing. If you pop for chlamydia, they're like, well, you're here. We might as well just give you the shot for gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Like, just knock everything out. And I usually like take it because I'm just like, fuck it. You know, like
I'm very apprehensive on like
taking too much.
I take anything I don't need to take. Like I know if you take too many antibiotics, it's not good for like your microbiome and these different things.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I only learned about taking too many antibiotics by doing this show because I have a doctor who's like a regular guest on the show.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he was the one who was like, oh, it's so bad. Like you're building up an immunity in your system.
Exactly.
And I was like, God damn.
You're killing all these little things that live inside you that need to live there. Yeah. So I try to avoid that if I have to.
No, that's smart.
Yeah.
You've taken up washing your dick after
I have.
sex.
I do wash my dick after sex,
Yeah.
which I think has really cut down. Ever since I started doing that, I haven't caught chlamydia.
I just love that you didn't used to wash your dick.
I didn't like not wash my dick. It was just like now I do it immediately after.
Yeah.
Where like before it's like, you fuck, you're laying there, you go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, the next day you have a shower.
Yeah.
Then I would wash my dick. But and then sometimes if it was getting really squirrely, maybe there'd be a partner in between where I didn't wash my dick,
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah. So dick's getting dirty, dude. Yeah.
No, I mean, I definitely have fallen asleep after sex. So I will say that. But I feel like those were like in my 20s when I just really didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think the funniest washing my dick thing I did was I was hanging out with my boys. This was back in Vancouver. And I was like, we were all going out to a bar, and I invited a girl to come meet us at the bar. But in between going to the bar, I was like, guys, I'll meet you at the bar. I went to a girl's place and we fucked. And then I left and met them at the bar and met the girl at the bar.
Oh my God.
And I remember walking in and she was already there sitting with, because she knew these guys too.
Yeah.
And so I walk in and I go like, hey, and I walk past the table. I go immediately into the bathroom and I wash my dick in the sink in the bathroom
Oh my
of
God.
this restaurant. And I come out and she asked me 2 separate times. She was like, where were you? And I was like, I had like some stuff to do. And then again, she's like, where were you? And I just never really told her. And then we fucked in the bathroom of that bar.
Oh my God. Wow.
And so at least I rinsed my dick in between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. I mean, I get it. It's like having a threesome. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not like
It's
the
not that
worst
crazy.
thing.
Come on.
Yeah. Have you had, okay, so I know last episode you mentioned you were invited to a husband and wife or boyfriend girlfriend scenario, whatever
Yes.
it was, threesome situation,
Yes.
but you were having a little trouble with the up.
Yes,
upskis.
absolutely.
So was it successful? Have you had a threesome? Have you had group sex?
Yes. So I had a threesome in Chicago, and the chicks actually got into a fight.
Over you?
It was kind of not really over me. It was like I can think more over the situation. One girl had messaged me on Tinder. She made it.
They didn't know each other?
They didn't know each other. No.
Oh, wow.
So-
this is impressive. Your skills are impressive.
This was a wild scenario. So this lady made a Tinder profile, and the profile said, "I'm only here for Durena." So she knew I was in town in like Chicago.
She's waiting for you to swipe.
Exactly.
Wow.
And worked, dude. I was like, that's crazy moves. So we start messaging. She comes to the show. She comes to the show by herself.
Yeah.
She gets sat at a table with another single woman.
Yeah.
And they're both sitting together. They start talking, whatever, two hot chicks.
Did you know it was her in the audience or no? You didn't know?
I knew it was her in the
Okay,
audience.
because you knew what she looked like from
Yes,
Tinder. Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then after the show, they were like kind of like hanging out.
Friendly.
Like, yeah, they're friendly now. And then they were both like, oh, let's all like go out. And I'm like, okay, sick. So we go to a bar. They start making out at the bar. And I'm like, oh, fucking shit. We're cooking, guys. So then we all go like I remember we all leave the bar. We get into an Uber. Or the one girl's like, we have to use a condom. So we stop at a 7-Eleven to get condoms.
Yeah.
Go back to the place. We're all hooking up. It's like, it's fun. It's good. When the Tinder girl was like the center of attention, was having sex with her, it was fine. And then once I started giving attention to the other girl,
she was not happy.
She was not happy. She started getting really shitty. She was kind of making like sly comments at like me and the other chick. And the other chick was like it was building in her and she was getting upset. And at one point she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. She goes in the bathroom and then I like going after her. I'm like, hey, are you okay? She's like, I don't fucking like this girl talking like this.
Yeah.
I'm fucking up. I'm like over it. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to save a 30-some. I'm like, you know,
Everybody's going to be fine.
yeah, it's okay. Let's just go back. Let's have a good time. We're like 20 minutes into this thing. I'm like, yo, it's good.
Your dick is like getting softer and softer by the second. You're like, I know.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to keep a boner and like work some like political angles to keep everybody happy. And so then she comes back, we go back, we're all fucking again. Then the girl starts making comments again, and this girl just goes, listen, I'm tired of this shit. I'm from Southside Chicago. I don't play this shit. And she's like snapping at this chick, and she goes like, one of us is gonna go. She's like, it's me or the other girl. And I was like, no, let's hang out. Let's all stay. And then so she's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And she left. And it was a bummer because she was like the one who was like more fun to have sex with as well.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But that was wild.
Have you gone to like sex shows? I know a lot of comics who have done comedy shows in sex shows. Have you ever done that?
I have done that.
Yeah.
You said you've never been to Canada.
No.
Oh, there's a really nice sex club. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to a ton, so I don't know if it compares. But there's a sex club in Toronto that I like a lot.
Yeah.
It's called Oasis.
And you can frequent it as a straight man?
You can frequent it as a straight man.
Oh.
It's more expensive to go in as a straight man. And I think there's certain nights where if you're just a single dude going in, you can go. But when I would go, the majority of the time I was with a chick.
Yeah.
And also if you're going to a sex club, for the listeners at home, don't go as a single guy. This isn't going to place where you're going to fucking pick up pussy. Usually the ratio is brutal.
Yeah.
It's more of a place to fuck and freely and be like nude and in like an open setting and like kind of just be sexually liberated.
Unless you're a voyeur.
Yeah, unless you're a voyeur. Yeah. Then
And you just want to watch.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
By all means.
Yeah, if that's your kink.
Yeah.
But if you're going to pick up, it's not the grounds.
But have
for
you
it.
done comedy there?
Yeah, we did. We did some shows there.
Yeah.
One guy was running shows there for a bit. And then there was another girl who started running shows there later. But they did a few shows there, and it was always very fun.
Were you watching live sex while doing comedy?
There was at one of the shows, someone started like finger banging this chick as the show was happening. But
Did you address it?
I don't think I was on stage when it happened.
Okay.
But most of the shows that we did there was like, oh, this is just the show. And then after everyone sort of disperses and is going around and fucking all around this place.
Yeah.
Which was crazy fun. I really enjoyed that place.
Yeah.
I also
did you partake in the fucking afterwards?
Yes. Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Nice.
I did a show at a swingers convention.
Ooh,
so
fun.
there was a swingers convention. I think it was in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
They rented out an entire Best Western. So like they have the whole Best Western, dude. They have the whole thing, but it was pretty nice. They had like a pool and like all this stuff in there. And they like black out the windows.
Yeah.
And it was like all these people that just come there just so they can fuck and swing and do all these things.
Yeah.
Then they had the comedy show, and then after we all
Where's
hung out.
the show?
The show was in, so they have like a whole like ballroom area.
Oh,
and like
shit. Okay.
Yeah, so there was like
They
a
got
dance
the
floor.
whole hotel.
The whole,
Everything.
The whole
okay.
thing. Like
Okay.
there's a dance floor. There's like a whole, there's a whole shebang thing going
Okay.
on. And then after the show, that was where I like first, I guess, did like a cuck kind of situation
Yeah.
where a guy was like, "Do you want to fuck my wife?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fuck your wife." And then I fucked his wife, and he sat in the corner, and then he came to the
Masturbated.
bed. And she started sucking his dick.
Okay.
And so like he participated a bit. I remember at one point I like shifted, and then our hands touched, and I was like, "Yeah."
Have you
Yeah.
ever had a threesome with a dude fucking the girl with you? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
DP?
Yeah, I've definitely done a DP.
And you can feel his dick.
Oh,
in-
like like the on
when
top.
you're in.
No, I've never
Yeah.
done that.
Okay.
No. I thought you meant like more of
Okay.
a spit roast.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Okay.
I've done the spit roast. Never done the DP.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like women I've encountered who I think could handle
it.
that. That's like you guys
A
are
pro move.
That's a pro move. To
Yeah.
be able to take two dicks at the
Yeah.
same time, even like
Yeah.
just chicks doing anal is like.
I will say it's a pro move for the men also.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
a really difficult position to get in. So
Yeah.
unless you're comfortable with everybody in the room, it's
Exactly.
difficult.
And you're like, you can
Yeah.
feel your dick probably
can.
against, and then your like balls touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you gotta be a special kind of dude to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's
Yeah.
really fun though.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah.
If you're into that at all. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm still working up to certain stages.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm at the DP stage yet, but maybe down the road.
Yeah.
Who knows? Try everything once, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you said like you're not currently looking for like a relationship, but
Yeah.
have you been in a long-term relationship?
The longest relationship I've had was in high school, and that was like a year
damn.
and a half.
Okay.
And like since then, I've dated like girls at like 6 months at a time.
Okay.
I was thinking about maybe becoming like a serial dater because I'm trying to get out of like binary thinking. I feel like I'm a very binary thinker. Like even last night, some people, I was trying to do dry January, and some people were like, "Oh, we're at the Comedy Store," and one of the guys who works there was like, "Oh, you want to come have a beer?" And I'm like, I'm not going to say no to having a beer at the Comedy Store, but I could have just been like, it was either say no and don't go or have the beer. I could have been like, "Oh, I'll come hang out, but I'm not going to have a beer." So I'm trying to get out of that binary thinking. So my thought process on dating was always been like, you're trying to be together forever or you're not dating at all. So like
Yeah.
maybe just like date for fun.
Yeah,
like
you could
hang
do
out.
that.
Yeah, maybe try that out a little bit to get more comfortable with just like fucking one person for an extended period of time, seeing one person.
Yeah, well, I think that's more or less why I was asking, because I was like, have you been in love? Because I think some of like the crazier sex comes when you're like in a loving relationship with a lot of trust,
Yeah.
you know, and you can have that healthy communication that I
Yeah.
feel like you can't always get straight out of the gate when you just meet somebody.
True. I have some people who have been like fucking long term, if that makes sense. Like
Okay.
we're not in a relationship,
But you feel more comfortable sexually with them.
there's a few like people who are like in quotations on the roster who
Yeah.
like I try to keep New York very bare. I don't really try to keep any
Oh.
hookups in New York because when I'm in New York, I want to be focusing on work.
Yeah.
And then when I'm on the road, if there's someone there who I can fuck, that's great.
Yeah.
But there's a few people that like when we cross paths, we kind of try different things. And they're are some people where I've explored some stuff, like a mommy thing. One girl wanted me to call her mommy, and I was like, I'm not like crazy about it, but I'm like, yeah, if that's what you want,
your thing.
we'll try it out.
Yeah.
But try dipping into these different things. Some girl wants me to bang her with like the cat ears on and like the cat butt plug tail thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give that a whirl.
Yeah, why not?
So those are the, I guess, relationships that I have built more comfortability in.
Yeah. Have you ever licked ass?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need a relationship for that.
No,
You're
no,
like,
no.
yeah.
No,
I'll just lick a stranger's ass.
I'll lick a stranger's ass any day, dude. Yeah.
Watching your stuff and like watching you interact with your audience, it's hilarious because you're constantly asking them those exact questions.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I love
Like,
it.
what are your kinks and all this stuff? I've cultivated a very specific audience. It's very true to me. I've only been like
Love that.
true to my sense of humor and true to what I want to talk about. Like I like anything that's absurd. That's like the kind of core of what I find funny.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that the culture around sex is a little absurd.
It is.
Because we have like, we want it constantly, maybe not for everyone constantly, but it's a part of like your dating. It's a part of love. It's a part of being with a person. It's a part of marketing. It's a part of movies. It's a part of all entertainment. And then we're still supposed to feel shameful about it.
Yeah.
That is in itself absurd.
It really is.
So I think that I like talking about those things. I highlight those, and also like I feel like sexual experiences also are those little taboos that a lot of people don't want to talk about.
Yes.
So they create tension naturally. And they're fun to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've cultivated an audience that is very much about being like perverted and like sexually free.
Yeah, that's why I do this show, is I want to make sex just something that people can talk about freely without feeling like, oh, if I tell them that, they're going to judge me for it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I feel like if you want to be more conservative with sex, it's fine.
Right, absolutely.
It's like, I just think it's strange that we don't allow these two things to coexist next to each other. It's that same like binary thinking where it's like, I try to get out of that and be like, let's try to there's a lot of gray area here.
Well, I don't mean to like sound it negative, but even like what you do and what you put out there to the world, if a female comic were doing that, or a female TikTok influencer were doing that and being like, yeah, I'm fucking everybody who comes to my show, it would be a fucking nightmare scenario for her.
Yeah.
You know?
I completely understand that women's experience on the internet is way different than dudes. And it's like, I don't know. I try to, justify it isn't the right word, but explain it through where that I think a lot of the people are like commenting and sending hate on all this stuff. I'm like, teenagers. That's where this is coming.
Think?
I think a lot of it.
I think it's like Bible Belt, like middle America.
It could be that as well. And I also think they're like, I've rarely comment on things on the internet. Like if I comment on something, it's like a friend's thing and I'm being like, hilarious dude or whatever. So I'm like, who is the type of person to get in a comment argument? It's the type of person where if you were at a party and they started talking to you, you would walk away from the conversation. You're like, oh, this person sucks. I can't even talk to them. So I'm like, it's that kind of person.
Yeah.
And so I try not to give it too much weight, but I do. I'm like, I don't know why people see something and get so venomous towards people who are just like fucking especially when it's like, it's different if it's something that's damaging your life.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's like someone who wants to just like talk about sex.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking about sex, what are your kinks? You
My
ask everybody
kinks.
else. I need to know what
True.
yours are.
Yeah. I like thick chicks.
Okay.
I like
Is that a kink?
I mean, I don't know if that's a kink.
But that's your thing.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I say I like thick chicks, but I fuck all kinds. There's like a lot of things.
He doesn't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah.
Just so you know, it's a preference. It's not mandatory.
Yeah.
Let's.
Actually, when I was just in Boston, I hooked up with this like thick girl who was like, she's probably like 5'8" and like meat on her bones. And then that was before the show.
Yeah.
And then after the show, I hooked up with this other chick who was like 5'2" and like tiny and little. And so I got like the best of both worlds in one night or one day. So that was great.
That's amazing.
But I like being in control. I like,
okay.
like kind of, I don't know.
A little derogatory. You like to spit in faces.
I like to spit in faces. I
So,
like to control. You're a slut. You're a whore.
But what I like about you is you have mentioned consent on multiple occasions when in conversation with me, maybe not on this episode, but I want to bring that out as like, you are definitely a person who is checking consent along the way.
Of
You're not
course.
just like spitting on some
No.
poor girl who isn't ready for it.
There's if if I'm gonna choke you, like, do you like being choked?
Yeah.
Do you like being slapped?
Right.
Like, I'll check in with these things. Can I spit on you?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll also be like, can I spit on you? It's yes. It's like, can I spit in your mouth? Can I spit on your face?
Yeah.
Like, I
Good
check
for
these,
you.
check those things because it's like, because
Yeah.
I've had it where I'm hooking up with a chick and she's like, I'm like, what can I do to you? And she's like,
Yeah.
you can do anything you want. And I go, can I spit on you? And she's like, no.
Absolutely not.
And I'm like, all right, well, I can't do anything I want then.
Yeah, I'll take spit on my pussy all day, every day. But if you spit in my face, it's also a different thing for me too.
Yeah.
I had a guy spit in my mouth one time when I wasn't like prepared for it, and it like only shocked me because it like hit the back of my throat, and I was like, oh, warn a girl, you know?
Yeah. Let me know it's coming.
Yeah, choke me out with your own spit. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I like spitting. I like a little degrading. I like being in control, choking, like tying someone up or something. All that
Would
stuff.
you ever get tied up?
I haven't. I think I would give it a shot, maybe.
Yeah, with someone you trust.
Yeah, with
That's a
someone I
trusting
trust.
thing.
Yeah. Like I did the whole like call a girl mommy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like kind of hot. It didn't really like get me super going, but I'm also a pleaser as well.
Yeah. Do you love your own mom?
I don't talk to my mom at all.
Oh, so that's why it wasn't as weird for you.
Yeah. That could be. Yeah. But we're gonna get in the whole therapy session here. I like a sleep creep as well. Like I
don't know what that means.
So like if I'm sleeping, like a girl like kind of like wakes me up by like jerking me off or sucking my dick or like
that's who doesn't want that?
Dude, love that. That's great. Yeah.
I also love that. I feel like it's nice because you guys wake up with a hard dick and sometimes you're not always awake, and then we can do that scooch back thing.
Yeah,
Is that the same for you?
Like the when she's just like kind of putting her butt into you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm not like trying to get fucked.
If
but
it just happens to slide in.
Yeah, then I guess.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like waking somebody up with a blowjob. I have to really like the person. I'm not just gonna wake anybody up with a blowjob. Yeah, that's a fun way
It's
to
a pretty
wake up.
nice thing to
A
do for a
sleeper
person,
creeper.
too. Yeah.
I had a guy that I dated, comic actually, funny enough. He was what's it called where you like sleepwalk but not, but he would
Like a sleep talk?
yeah, like like some sort of like sleep thing where he would like still be asleep but like he would do things, but he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it is a form of sleepwalking, but we both passed out. Like we had both gone to bed, and I was dating this man at this point, so it wasn't like I wasn't like screaming rape or anything, but that happened. And I woke up and he was eating my pussy, and it was great. And then we like had sex and it was amazing. And then halfway through, he like woke up. He woke up during sex and was like, "What are we doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What are we doing? You started this. Like, you woke me up eating my pussy." Yeah, but it was like he didn't even know he had begun it.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I looked that up not that long ago, but that is a thing.
Yeah.
Like sleep masturbation, sleep sex.
Yeah.
There's multiple recorded cases of this.
Yeah, well, guys wake up to wet dreams all the time, right?
Yeah. If you stop jerking off, your chances of a wet dream increase quite a bit. That's what they say sometimes
Interesting.
for No Nut November. People say they start getting wet dreams. And people say that also means you lose No Nut November.
I don't think No Nut November is a good idea.
I don't know if it's a good idea either.
I think that you need to be coming. It releases a lot of like endorphins, and it has a lot of positive things to it.
I think it's like I don't want anyone to take this as offensive, but I look at it almost as like a Ramadan. Like you do it as like you're like you fast for like one period of the year.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're fast, you're challenging yourself and like you're kind of have a freedom to jerk off at whenever you want.
Yeah.
But this one period of time you're not. And so you're that portion of it is good for you. Like it's not good to constantly fast all the time like you do like your intermittent fasting and stuff.
Right.
But the same way like people say at the end of Ramadan they feel like incredible.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to like I'm just saying the idea of fasting, Lent. Let's use Lent instead as an example so people don't get upset. So it's like if for Lent you gave up jerking off.
Yeah, I just think your body needs it. I mean, obviously these people are like having wet dreams in their sleep because they can't do it. Like your body's like, get it out.
Yeah.
Like I need it.
I also don't know what the research is on not jerking off for that long time.
Yeah, I don't either, but I just feel like it can't be good.
People gotta be nutting. Be nutting.
And you're just so much happier.
Yeah.
When you've come. Everyone is just so much happier. I don't know. I say never stop coming.
Never stop nutting.
Yeah. I feel like if you stop, you might like forget how nice it is, you know, and then you don't want it as much. I feel like when I'm not getting laid, I can like be like, oh, I don't really need sex, and then I have sex, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to have sex all the time now. I'm like, when can I see you again?
Yeah,
I'm like you. If I date, it distracts me from things. So if I have that good dick, I'm like, all I'm thinking about is when I fuck this person next, and I'm not even thinking about any of the shit I need to get done.
Oh,
you know?
dude,
it's very distracting.
I had a booty call flake I had 2 booty calls flake in LA since I've been out
LA
here.
full
Yeah,
flake.
It was
super
so
flaky.
dude. Like crazy amount of I flakes on like
funny.
every front, like everything from like lunches to like content creation to podcasts to shows to booty calls, all flaked on this trip. But
It's the nature of LA.
this one had like a lot of build up and like a lot.
Oh, damn.
I was like really looking forward to it, and she was like a little tiny thing with like a really tight ass, little dancer, very flexible, and I was like, I was really pumped for that one, dude.
Fall through.
What'd you do?
What did I do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
what'd
was
you
the
do?
what
What
was the
happened?
reasoning? Did she even give one?
So she was like, she had flown back from somewhere. I don't want to blow up her spot too much, but she flew back from somewhere far away. And she was, and so I texted her the day, and then she was like, I just woke up.
She jet lagged.
Yeah. And then
That's
I text her after, are you still free later tonight? And then I just haven't heard from her since.
She's sleeping.
Yeah. But
maybe.
it's been days.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Maybe she is a long sleeper.
I mean, I hope for your sake it works out. I want you to get that dancer bod.
yeah. I mean, I got a weekend coming up that's sold out. So there'll for sure be something there. There'll be, that's where we're going to get it.
Yeah, I got a friend in case. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah?
In case they flake in LA again. I got a
Okay.
couple friends.
Nice.
good. That's
Look at
good.
you'll never be let down in
Some
LA again.
backups. Yeah.
You
I
see
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the wildest fantasy in your head that's never come true that you're still looking to fulfill?
Ooh, wildest fantasy in my head. I still want to go to an orgy. I've never been to an orgy.
Okay.
I would love to go to like a like we're talking like 20 plus people
Wow.
orgy. I would
Okay.
love to do that. Everyone's like fucking and sucking and passing around, like
a
whatever.
lot.
I think that would be great. That is something I still really want to do. I feel like the clock's kind of ticking on that. Like you don't want to get too old. You want
It's just hard to organize that many people
Yeah,
unless you're in porn.
Yeah, true.
You know, and even then it's hard to organize that many people if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But I think that's the biggest one. I want to go
Yeah.
to like a big orgy. I don't know if I've had different group sex experiences and I've always kind of enjoyed them. I like
Yeah.
the sex clubs with like the freedom and the
free.
just walking around naked and everyone's naked. It just feels so nice.
That's what I love about being in porn. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's the sexual freedom, it's the liberation, it's the zero judgment. It's just so nice. Like
Yeah.
I've tried so many things sexually that I would have never been able to try
Yeah.
in real life. But good luck on the orgy. I will say your biggest fantasy is like my biggest fear.
Oh, really?
Because I've had them and I don't enjoy them.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
maybe I won't like it, you know, but it's
Maybe.
like, I got to try it to know.
You do have to try it to know. I agree. I'm going to wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. We're going to wrap this up here. Do you
Thank
want to
you.
tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me on all platforms at Che Durena. That's CHEDURENA, CheDurena.com for all ticket and tour dates. A bunch of stuff in Canada coming up. So if you are in Canada, check that out. A bunch of California dates coming up. And I think we have like Washington in there as well. So yeah, go check that out.
Yeah, awesome. You guys won't regret it. This guy's hilarious. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
and
for having
until
me.
next time, adios.